Notifying physicians that the use of well, let's see how we say that.
Acetaminophen. It's okay, spell it out. It's okay, spell it out there, guy. Oh my god, that's beautiful. A-E-Yaps. It's in the name. Well, this was not on my bingo card today. President Trump announces a link between Tylenol and autism. You heard that right.
The Amish, yeah, virtually. I heard none. See, Bobby wants to be very careful with what he says, and he should, but I'm not so careful with what I say. But you have certain groups. The Amish, as an example, they have essentially no autism.
Interesting. And now, there's a longer clip of this later on. Actually, we could show it here in a second. Let's hear what RFK has to say. Holy crap. Secretary Kennedy just revealed that Tylenol use actually contributes to ADHD and liver toxicity. We already knew the liver toxicity, like it was already known. Like you take too much Tylenol or too much ibuprofen, like you're just gonna kill your liver and that was already known. But contributes to ADHD, insane. How long have they known the truth? People have to be held accountable. I mean, absolutely. Let's hear what RFK has to say.
Findings from our autism work that are vital for parents to know.
I mean, let's see what RFK has to say about Tylenol and the link and its contribution to ADHD and liver toxicity.
As they make these decisions.
God, I'm an
First,
asshole.
HHS will act on acetaminophen. The FDA is responding to clinical and laboratory studies that suggest a potential association between acetaminophen use during pregnancy and adverse neurodevelopmental outcomes, including later diagnosis for ADHD and autism. Scientists have proposed biological mechanisms linking prenatal acetaminophen exposure to altered brain development.
So that's saying if you're a pregnant woman, which is probably about 0% of people who are watching my YouTube channel, but for the off chance, I would stop taking Tylenol because apparently it has a link to ADHD and other problems during childbirth or during the child development stage.
We have also evaluated the contrary studies that show no association. Today, the FDA will issue a physician's notice about the risk of acetaminophen during pregnancy and begin the process to initiate a safety label change.
Wow.
HHS will launch a nationwide public service campaign to inform families and protect public health. FDA also recognized that acetaminophen is often the only tool for fevers and pain in pregnancy, as other alternatives have well-documented adverse effects. HHS wants, therefore, to encourage clinicians to exercise their best judgment in the use of acetaminophen for fevers and pain in pregnancy by prescribing the lowest effective dose for the shortest necessary duration and only when treatment is required. Furthermore, thanks to the politicization of science, the safety of acetaminophen against the risk of neurodevelopmental disorders in young children has never been validated. Prudent medicine, therefore, suggests caution in acetaminophen use by young children, especially since strong evidence also has associated it with liver toxicity. Some studies have also found the use of acetaminophen in children can potentially prolong viral illnesses. FDA will drive new research to safeguard mothers, children, and families. In addition to a possible acetaminophen connection to autism for pregnant women, infants, and toddlers, our research has revealed that folate deficiency in a child's brain can lead to autism.
Wow, so even as for kids, even for young kids, wow, so no more Tylenol. Okay, so what is a safe alternative instead to Tylenol, ibuprofen, or acetaminophen? It's a good question. Here, let's see. If you have no stomach issues, no tetanus, and aren't anti-cloagic, or I'm not even going to get into all of that. We're not going to get health advice from Twitter. But the whole world just changed. This is from the real Alex Jones, so you know this is awesome. President Trump just announced that certain groups of people don't take vaccines or any pills have no autism. President Trump goes further and says that the Amish essentially have no autism. Let's hear what the man who has a way with words. Let's see what he has to say about all this.
That have no autism. I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines and don't take any pills that have no autism. That have no autism. Does that tell you something? That's currently, is that a correct statement, by the way?
There are some studies that suggest that, yeah, with the Amish, for example.
The Amish, yeah, virtually. I heard none.
He has to be fact checked. He's like, hey, someone call me out. Is that about right? Is everything sounds good on this? I'm not speaking completely out of whack.
See, Bobby wants to be very careful with what he says, and he should, but I'm not so careful with what I say. But you have certain groups. The Amish, as an example, they have essentially no autism.
He has a way with words, I will say.
You just saw the whole world change. The president of the United States said Amish don't have autism, which is true. You just heard them say only people.
He said, fact check me, am I wrong? No, I didn't think so. The Amish, they basically have no autism. It's the vaccines.
Taking shots, the pills are sick. This is the sea change. This is real. You don't say this. This devastates the enemy. They'll probably kill Trump and Kennedy for this. But I'm telling you, everything we've done to move the needle.
What is up with this rhetoric? Let's chill on it from both sides, okay? Let's chill on it from both sides. And not every time that they say something that's polarizing, should they fear their life? Nor should we call for violence or call them any type of words like fascist or Nazi or anything along those lines. Can we just chill out on all of that, please?
To this point, thank you, Jesus, and all you black pill people can fuck off. Fuck you. You don't know shit. There is good in the universe, not just bad.
Holy shit. All right,
Since
let's see what you have to
2000,
say.
autism rates have surged by much more than 400%. Instead of attacking those who ask questions, everyone should be grateful for those who are trying to get the answers to this complex situation. And the first day all of these great doctors behind me were there, I told them this is what we have to find out. Because when you go from 20,000 to 10,000 and then you go to 12, you know there's something artificial. They're taking something. And by the way, I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines and don't take any pills that have no autism. That have no autism.
What I want to know, if you guys are watching this, if you're here now, what do you guys think about this? Do you think the vaccines are causing, autism or something? I think with these vaccines, if you want my personal 2 cents on this, I'm thinking that, we have studies on the vaccines that they do good positive things, but it's like a sample survey or like a test for that one specific vaccine. And it's not accounting for taking 70 plus other vaccines along with it in a course of like 18 months, right? Like there's no real studies that have really been done on that. And I think now that the studies that are being done on that are showing some damning evidence. That's my personal
Does that tell you
belief.
something? That's currently, is that a correct statement, by the way?
There are some studies that suggest that, yeah, with the Amish, for example.
Yes, for the Amish, we heard this already. To give another example, with taking shots as a baby, we take a hepatitis B shot, which is basically transmitted just via STD, right? Why are we giving a baby a shot that for a disease that's transmitted through for STDs? Can't we do that later in life, like during driver license age or when you turn 18 or something like that? Can't we wait a little longer in life before then? Instead of 18 months, let's wait 18 years for something like that.
The Amish, yeah, virtually. I heard none. See, Bobby wants to be very careful with what he says, and he should, but I'm not so careful with what I say. But you have certain groups. The Amish, as an example, they have essentially no autism. First, effective immediately, the FDA will be notifying physicians that the use of well, let's see how we say that.
Acetaminophen. It's okay, spell it out. It's okay, spell it out there, guy. Oh my God, that's beautiful.
Acetaminophen. Acetaminophen. Is that okay?
He's shaking in the neck.
Which is basically commonly known as Tylenol.
Fucking God.
during pregnancy can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. So taking Tylenol is not good.
He's like he's learning about this as he's reading it on the page right now. He's like, that and all, it's not good, causing your kids to be retarded.
I'll say it, it's not good. For this reason, they are strongly recommending that women limit Tylenol use during pregnancy unless medically necessary. That's, for instance, in cases of extremely high fever, that you feel you can't tough it out, you can't do it. I guess there's that. It's a small number of cases, I think. But if you can't tough it out, if you can't do it,
he shrugs his shoulders and said, "Don't be a pussy."
That's what you're going to have to do. You'll take a Tylenol, but it'll be very sparingly. Can be something that's very dangerous to the woman's health.
As I predicted, it's true. It's a cocktail. The shots, the Tylenol, the pesticides, and the fluoride. I already knew what was going to happen, folks. I already know all the studies. You just saw the whole world change. The president of the United States said Amish don't have autism, which is true. You just heard them say only people taking shots, the pills are sick. This is the sea change. This is real. You don't say this. This devastates the enemy. They'll probably kill Trump and Kennedy for this. But I'm telling you, everything we've done to move the needle to this point, thank you, Jesus, and all you black pill people can fuck off. Fuck you. You don't know shit. There is good in the universe, not just bad.
God, I fucking love the internet. That's all I gotta say.
Continue, excuse me.
I'll say that they will maybe say at a little bit later date, but I think when you go for the shot, you do it over a 5-time period. Take it over 5 times or 4 times, but you take it in.
People bitch about this. It's over, folks. It's over. The whole thing just collapsed right now. We got your ass, bitch. All you people. Man, and this is just the beginning. The indictments are coming. They're going to fire the AG. They're going to fire Patel. You watch. You just watch and you remember, you black-pilled pussies, when I told you, if you'd have been harder working, we would have won this before. But you don't believe anybody's good in the world but you that sits in your basement and plays with your fucking 1-inch dicks.
What really makes a nutraceutical work? What is a nutraceutical? What is a supplement? Yeah, I mean, let's just talk about Power Plant, for example. So methyl drive is something that everyone, whether they're 12 or whether they're
if we're buying supplements from Alex Jones, I think it's time to go outside, touch some grass, maybe, start journaling, writing some down in your life. I don't think this is what you need, I could be wrong. This could be the greatest supplement known to mankind, but something's telling me it's not.
You should take CoQ10. Listen, and if you're going to InfoWars off, everybody a good take.
Okay, so the last little bit was just ads for their supplements. Got it. Okay, well then let's hear this. Mercury in fish, bad. Mercury in vaccines, good. Formaldehyde in floors, bad. Formaldehyde in vaccines, perfectly fine. Glyphosate on food, bad. Glyphosate on vaccines, fine. Aluminum in deodorants, bad. But aluminum in vaccines, good. MSG in food, bad. But MSG in vaccines, good. Drinking human blood, bad. Injecting human blood. I'm not even going to finish that because I don't even know if that's completely true or not. No TV equals no COVID. Why isn't COVID affecting you people? We don't have a TV. What do you mean? That's amazing. Trump just told the world that Amish have no autism because they refuse vaccine and pills. Years of being smeared as anti-science and dangerous just met one statement: the established cannot spin. Trump, Tylenol is bad, very bad. Liberals taking a mouthful of Tylenol tomorrow. And of course, with this being said, and Trump saying this, that there's going to be, a counter or like an argument to it. So let's hear what MSNBC has to say. They're obviously not going to agree with Trump. So What do they have to say about this?
Research gets better. And just a few years ago, one of the largest, best quality research studies ever done, 25 years in Sweden, looked at siblings, one exposed in utero, the other not, to Tylenol. And what did that find on when controlling for genetics, family history, maternal, paternal age, known risk factors for autism, that there was no link. So the best quality research has shown no link between the use of Tylenol in utero or during pregnancy and the development of autism.
President Trump actually seemed to acknowledge this weekend that today's announcement could be wrong. Take a listen.
I don't want to wait any longer. We don't need anything more. And if it's wrong, it's not going to be wrong. But if it is wrong, it's fine that we have to do it. Because we're going to have an announcement on autism.
Dr. Gupta, your reaction. What are the implications if they make this link and they're wrong?
Well, it's going to be a similar line of things. You and I have talked about this endlessly of using a similar approach. They don't know. They put something out there and it's cherry picking data. I worry about women across the country, Anna. You said this in the tee-up. There aren't many options for oral pain relief if you have to take a medication. I say this watching my wife go through 2 pregnancies and needing, in some cases, pain relief. That it's important to treat pain during pregnancy. That's a risk factor to baby. And NSAIDs are not an option. Other pain relievers are not an option. There's not a lot there beyond hot and cold compresses, acupuncture, and Tylenol to treat pain. So we can't just do this willy-nilly. We have to be serious about it. And frankly, there is no link when you look at the best evidence.
And we should note, countless medical organizations from the U.S. to Canada to Europe have all said that the data that even suggests a link is inconclusive at best. But for those people who may be fearful and say any risk isn't worth it, what should they do?
As always, they should speak to their most trusted purveyor of medical information, Anna, and whether it's childhood vaccines or the use of Tylenol in pregnancy. If you have a question, no doubt patients across the country are confused.
Now, the you're wrong comment, I have no idea. But I mean, in all fairness, that didn't seem like it was too harsh. I mean, it's refreshing to hear Trump says, "Hey, if it's wrong, it's wrong. We just move on." But I also don't know in the context of that clip, because that seems like a very short clip. But would you listen to your peer researchers at Harvard who would know that they're my only like pushback on this is like the people that they're saying have these studies or looked at these studies. When you look at their backgrounds, I just call it into question. But hepatitis B is not just an STD. It can spread through the blood, shared through needles in the mother and baby at birth. That's why the newborn vaccination is crucial. It prevents liver disease, cancer, at risk. Okay, true, but this only applies to if the mother has a background in hepatitis B. If the mom doesn't have hepatitis B, no one in the family has a history of hepatitis B, I don't see a need for the baby to take a hepatitis B shot. Not then, like that's kind of where my head's at. But I want you guys to let me know, what do you guys think about all of this? Do you guys think this is anti-science? Do you guys think that this is getting into like more practical science and using, I don't know, the actual most up-to-date modern technology that we have? Because peptides and a lot of other compounds, peptides, all these different things are starting to become available at a mass level, at least here over in the United States. I think, the implementation of that in your day-to-day life, especially if you want to optimize health later in your life, I think is just going to be pretty much essential. But I want you guys to let me know what you guys think about all this down below. As always, make somebody laugh today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.